SmackDown was taped this past Monday before Raw in Hershey, Pennsylvania. The show started off with a recap of John Cena's last match, which took place this past Saturday, and it's a very well produced video package. They show everything that happened on Saturday night's main events, from Cena's final entrance to his final match to his final farewell, in which he walked down the ramp for one last time after leaving his much of his gear in the middle of the ring. Walks down the ramp and gives us a final salute. So, everyone has an opinion on how the match ended. It's very divisive on social media, very polarizing, and that's a lot like John Cena's career. For most of it, at least, very polarizing. So maybe it's only fitting that the end of his career ends that way as well. And he actually did an appearance on Cody Rhodes' podcast, and he talked about the ending. He gave his explanation. It's kind of like him being okay with it. And, that's what I expected. John Cena, I don't think, would ever put the company on blast. He kind of, in a way, inadvertently or subtly took a shot at The Rock and Travis Scott because they did ditch him. And they were going to be part of his heel run, but they ditched him. So, yeah, he was left on his own. And that's when they had to scramble and come up with, he's turning heel because the fans booed him 10 years ago or something. So that's what I expected anyways. The Rock and Travis Scott really did, especially The Rock. Who cares about Travis Scott? The Rock, I think, definitely did a lot of damage. But the person who deserved the most blame for the botched heel turn and, really the underwhelming final retirement tour of John Cena, the person who deserves the most blame is Triple H for his booking of it. But we're past that. Damian Priest opened the show. He started by talking about John Cena, and he called him the greatest of all time. And then he led the crowd into a thank you Cena chant, which was great. Got to hear that one final time, and probably the last time we'll hear a thank you Cena chant before he goes into the Hall of Fame. We just don't know what year that's going to be. He then said that he and Rhea Ripley beat Aleister Black and Zelina, so he was saying like he was essentially ready to move on. But then Zelina comes out and she appears on the ramp to taunt him. She calls him a hypocrite for getting Rhea to help him fight his battles. And then I think she said something that he couldn't even get the win in his own match. Rhea did. Then Aleister Black appears in the ring and he attacks Damian Priest. The two brawl to the outside, and it goes on for a while. Damian Priest actually set up a table on the outside, but Aleister Black hit him in the back with the steel chair. Eventually, he gets him on the table, and he goes to the apron. He hits a double knee, like a running double knee, almost like a Meteora, off the apron onto Damian Priest, and it drives him through the table on the outside. So I guess Priest is getting some revenge for what happened last week. And that was how the first interaction between the two of them ended, because there would be a second one later in the show. Byron Saxton's backstage with Nia Jax and Lash Legend. He calls Lash's victory over Alexa Bliss last week an upset, which Nia scoffs at. Really, I mean, it was a squash match. That's what it was. Everyone knows it was. Nia says they're moving on from them and they're going on to the Kabuki Warriors and the tag team titles. Then you have the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane, coming out, and they were not defending their tag team championship. Backstage, Aleister Black attacked Damian Priest from behind. He threw him into production boxes. Zelina was cheering him on. Then Black hit Priest in the back with a shovel, and then he hit Damian Priest with a black mass, and Priest fell into the garage. So I don't know if this is a way to write Priest off of television for a while or something, but felt like the kind of angle where he's going to be out. Then we get to the women's tag team match, the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane, taking on Nia Jax and Lash Legend. Nia actually she caught Kairi Sane and hit a chokeslam. She hit the Annihilator on her for the win. After the match, Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair stormed the ring. They attack Lash Legend and Nia Jax, forcing them to retreat. And then they pose with Asuka and Kairi's tag team titles, so they want the belts back as well. And they want another shot at that. So I think it was Lash Legend and Naya, or see, I don't remember exactly. I think they're the ones who cost Alexa and Charlotte on that Boston show on Raw, which was Cena's last appearance in Boston, by the way. It's been over a month now since they lost the belts. They want their belts back. Jackie Redmond's in the back, and she's actually in the locker room with Kiana James and Julia. Kiana gives Jackie permission to talk to Julia, and she cuts a quick promo on Chelsea Green. I thought Julia actually looked good tonight. I thought she did well on her delivery. I just don't, I'll get to the match. I mean, she just unfortunately wasn't getting much of a reaction. Then we go to a pre-recorded segment from Drew McIntyre's home. Nick Aldis is trying to get him to apologize in order to get a title match with Cody Rhodes in the future. And this is in Drew's home in Florida. Not his real home, probably, but because he actually showed us the address by mistake. Drew refuses to apologize. He wants to pick the stipulation. He demands that Cody must be stripped of the championship if he attacks him. And then Cody actually arrives to Drew's house in Florida, and then they fight outside. The camera goes out multiple times. So it's been a while since they've done like a home invasion type of angle. I think they did it not too long ago with LA Knight and AJ Styles, almost 2 years ago now. I don't know. Then Byron Saxton interviews Nick Aldis backstage. Miz interrupted in the man in the match with Joe Hendry. Aldis agrees, and they did a comedy bit with R-Truth. Julia was out next with Kiana James, and then he had Julia taking on Alba Fire, who had Chelsea Green in her corner. Not much of a reaction from the crowd. The match was back and forth. Julia hit her finisher for the win. After the match, Julia kind of stared down Chelsea, who kind of really oversold everything here. Julia needs to get her belt back. I hope she does. Not much of a reaction, unfortunately. I hope they can just turn it around with her, because it's been a really rough year for her on the main roster, to be honest. It's not gone well at all, to say the least. We see Cody Rhodes walking backstage, and then we get a Wyatt 6 promo on the MFT. Cody Rhodes was out next. He mocked Drew for claiming an unsafe work environment. Everyone should do that whenever anyone complains about an unsafe work environment. Come on, it's wrestling. Then Nick Aldis comes out and said if Drew makes his apology, then Cody can't lay a finger on Drew, or else he's stripped of the title. Cody, I thought after that, cut a pretty good promo. Backstage, Ilya Dragunov thanks Carmelo Hayes for coming to his aid last week, and then Fraxium wished them good luck ahead of their match. DIY was out next, and then we get a graphic. They showed us a graphic saying that John Cena has had, after his retirement now, he's had 726 televised matches. That's a lot, to say the least. I don't know if I've seen all of them, but I've seen most of them for sure, because I saw his career. And there was periods where I wasn't watching. I didn't watch every show or anything, but I think I've probably seen the overwhelming majority of those. Then you had DIY taking on Ilya Dragunov and Carmelo Hayes. Pretty good matchup, fast-paced, back and forth, as you'd kind of expect with these two teams. You had some good action, and here Gargano's really good, Ciampa's really good, Carmelo's really good, Ilya Dragunov's really good. I like everyone here. Carmelo Hayes hit his finisher on Ciampa for the win, and then basically setting up Carmelo Hayes and Ilya Dragunov. And there's been some spoilers circling around, and I'm not going to tell you exactly what happened, but definitely surprising, to say the least. Backstage, Jackie Redmond interviews Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair after they attack Nia Jax and Lash Legend. They want to be next in line for the tag team titles after Rhea and Io challenge for them. And then Jade walks in, and she briefly stare downs Charlotte, and then she kind of stare downs for a little bit longer Alexa Bliss. And everyone knows I love Alexa Bliss, but I do not want to see her and Jade. That's not going to work. The size difference is too much. Then Jackie interviews Jade after she's asking her why she attacked Mishin last week, who then appears and attacks Jade with a kendo stick. B-Fab and others had to stop her from attacking Jade some more. I just thought, you know what, B-Fab, when I saw that, I think she's turning probably on the first SmackDown of the year. I think she's going to turn on Mishin and align with Jade. And it wouldn't surprise me maybe to call up someone from NXT, one Jada Parker, and she joins and they create their own little faction on SmackDown, because I think Jada Parker has been off TV for a couple of months now. She's not hurt. I think it makes sense that she's going to be called up very soon, maybe. And they took Lash Legend off TV for a while in NXT before they called her up. They preview next week's show, which was taped tonight in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Solo Sikoa is backstage cutting a promo, don't care. And this is right before the MFT were walking through Gorilla. Then we get the main event, MFTs. Tonga Loa and JC Mateo taking on the Wyatt Six, Dexter Lumis and Joe Gacy, who are defending their tag team championship. Could care less. Soon everyone just got in the ring, and the ref has no choice but to throw the match out. Uncle Howdy tried to hit the Sister Abigail on Solo, but one of, I think it was Tama, broke it up. Eventually MFT retreats as the Wyatt Six stood tall to end the show, and this was definitely a filler show. It's a tape show. It's close now to Christmas. It is what it is. This is what happens every year, so I'm not going to fault WWE for that. What I am going to fault them for is this, the lackluster year they've had, because it's been really disappointing and underwhelming, and so many big shows fell flat this year. So, I might give them a pass for tonight, but they're not getting a pass for what they've given us this past year, because it's been very underwhelming. So that was SmackDown, taped this past Monday, and the next week's SmackDown was actually taped as this SmackDown was being aired. I don't know. Does that ever happen? I don't know. That's kind of strange, but the next SmackDown's the day after Christmas, so understandably, I would like to say they're letting the talent spend the holidays, spend Christmas with their families, but no, they're actually doing a live event tour. So, that is what it is, I guess. Anyway, that was SmackDown, and hopefully, I'll just say this, hopefully 2026 is a better year for the WWE product than 2025 was, especially for SmackDown.